Yeah, if you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Nigeria. And to set the tone for our conversation, which borders on giant strides of President Tinubu's administration, let's begin with this background report put together by Ibrahim Belugunda.
Transportation is the wheel that drives socio-economic growth across the world, with the road subsector responsible for 90% of mobility in the case of Nigeria. One of the infrastructures that will accelerate the realization and transformation of the dreams and expectations of Nigeria's economic goal is the road infrastructure, which should be the leading subsector that the government should make capital investment in. The completion of ongoing or abandoned road construction projects with the construction of new durable and quality roads should be top priority for the government, considering its importance to socio-economic development of the nation. Recent reports indicate that routes like Port Harcourt Warri, Abuja Kaduna Kano, Kano Maiduguri, Gombe Yola and Abuja Lokoja roads, among many other highways, are examples of roads that motorists go through with difficulty on a daily basis due to their deplorable condition. However, the federal government has carried out maintenance, especially along Kaduna-Abuja Highway, among others, but the amount allocated for road maintenance is grossly inadequate, considering the enormous responsibility which the maintenance of Nigeria's road infrastructure cutting across the 36 states of the Federation, including Abuja, represents. An assessment carried out by a team of experts indicated that it will require over 700 billion naira to carry out the task of maintaining federal roads nationwide. Like what is obtained across the world, experts believed government should explore and embrace alternative means of road construction that is cheaper, cost-effective and suitable to climatic conditions in Nigeria. Some stakeholders are of the opinion that despite the substantial annual budget allocation for road construction, the level of implementation raises concern, especially looking at lives lost to accidents along the unmotorable roads. The process of delaying the funding of contracts also depletes government funds through frequent cost review of ongoing projects. It is worthy to note that the present administration has made gains in road construction with the mobilization of contractors back to site of abandoned projects, revoking of some unyielding road construction contracts, and the award for the construction of new roads projects. What is the situation of Nigerian roads? How can government improve its road infrastructure? This and more will be some of the questions guests on Good Morning Nigeria will find answers to on the program.
All right, many thanks, Ibrahim Belugunda, for that background report. But I won't take your word for it until I hear it from our guest. So joining us here in the studio to speak on the giant strides of President Tinubu's administration, let me welcome Ambassador Ephraim Ikechukwu Nwonu, Executive Director, Icon Global Foundation. We welcome you to Good Morning Nigeria.
You're welcome.
So you heard me say I won't take his word for it. So
we hear from
take
the
a cursory look before we go into specifics.
Let's look at
these giants.
Yes.
All right. Good morning, gentlemen and lady. As a matter of fact, just as you rightly pronounced my name, some people most times they will find it difficult, probably because of different tongues, accent and what have you. Yes, I am Ambassador High Chief Ephraim Ikechukwu Nwonu, Executive Director of Icon Global Foundation, a leading NGO in Nigeria, who has actually been doing her best in complementing with governments and other organized bodies to address some highly topical issues that affect us as a people and nation. At this point in time, we got an approval and technical support from a Senate Committee on Information and National Orientation to organize a zonal workshop, to showcase the giant strides of Mr. President Tinubu in this past 2 years and still running. So actually, we are really very, very deliberate in this very effort because of the statistics we have gathered. We've actually painstakingly gone around the whole country. As an NGO, the watchdog of the society, we are non-partisan. We really want to let Nigerians know that Mr. President indeed has bear the card so far.
So you went around Nigeria. How was the reception like from Nigerians?
Very fantastic. My interest is to know that our membership, the membership of this organization, cuts across all the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. So we have our information, we have evidence is highly empirical, to show indeed that actually Mr. President has lived up to the billings so far.
Now, one thing that has continued to reverberate is the removal of fuel subsidy. Of course, it has had the potential of impacting many areas. But in your opinion, how has this influenced the strides that the administration has made so far?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, before now, when that issue came up, of course, we are aware that if not that Mr. President has a good political goodwill, that strength is there, perhaps he wouldn't have even removed such the subsidy, so to speak. And then going forward, after the removal, I want us to know that indeed that the increment of allocations, state increments of allocations so far, is one of those achievements of this very oil subsidy. Maybe so many Nigerians are not aware. That's why if you ask most of them, they will always be telling you different stories as if the worst has happened. No. And this is one of the reasons our NGO want to carry out this program so that we can dispel these misinformations that have been peddled to Nigerians by some enemies of this administration. No, just watch it. Almost all the whole states, as we speak, the allocations has increased, and I don't think we have ever experienced such kind of something in the country. We're only experiencing it under the administration of Mr. President. So, and there are other areas, 5 key areas that they have, this administration have achieved a lot, to include but not limited to this agriculture, as you are aware. Without food, we are not secured. And then this time around, so many things, so many foodstuffs are very, very cheap. And I'm very, very certain about that. And of course, speaking from my own background, as an Ebonyian, I'm from Ebonyi State, so we're a agrarian state. Sometimes people will say Benue is a food basket, but that's not the correct narrative.
So are you a farmer?
Yes, I am not just only a farmer, I'm a commercial one. I have a large hectare of land I farm, and I'm not just speaking as if I'm an urban gorilla, no. So this administration has really done a lot of incentives here across the country. Yeah, and then is it education? As you are aware, for the very first time in the history of Nigerian politics, students have student loans. A lot of funds has been doled out to cushion the effect of their academic problems, particularly those indigent students. And then is it road? You also aware that Mr. President, was deliberate, and then to have appointed, an expert, in the name of Engineer Devo Umar, His Excellency, the former governor of Ebonyi State, who now is the Minister of Works. You can see what he's doing across the country. Of course, he's only replicating, this time in a larger scale, what he did when he was a governor of Ebonyi State. So a lot of areas that this government have really fared well. But the truth is that most times some Nigerians would like to play politics over issues. That's why we want to take this pain of organizing this workshop so that we can put the records very straight. No,
it's a fact. Because of the removal of fuel subsidy, allocation has increased. But would you say that this has been justified across the states, particularly because this is where the people get impacted? And if the people, like you say, are, painting different narratives, it's probably because it is impacting their pockets. How do you assess this?
Well, for me, You know, every normal human being, you know, as Nigerians we are, most times we behave like Oliver Twist. I hope you understand. So we will always need more. Okay? To be honest, there's no way any reasonable Nigerian will say that this president is not working. It's working. And removing first subsidies is for our own good. It has translated, you know, into a lot of goodies, such as this increment of allocations to all states. So if at all there is this rural-urban drift, you know, I think Mr. President actually have not caused it. You get. If at all anyone should be blamed here, it shouldn't be Mr. President. It shouldn't be Mr. President.
Migration has always been part, you know, man must migrate at times to survive. And you've been talking about the achievements, especially education, security. But so insecurity has been battled by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We've seen the progress in that area. So how would you balance the administration's achievements with ongoing challenges such as inflation?
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, I hope you know that I'm not an expert in this area. We talk about inflation. We might have to enlist, you know, the service of experts, mostly economists, who can do justice on that.
Don't you have anybody in your NGO that...
Of course, we have. And that is why we want to really... Of course, the NGO, normally, we have designed it in a way that professionals will be engaged, seasoned technocrats, to really discuss, you know, and then inform Nigerians adequately on all these key areas that Mr. President have done marvelously well.
All right. And let's talk infrastructure, for instance, roads. Can you paint us a picture of the strides of the administration in terms of roads and how it may have improved the use of roads by Nigerians for their travels?
Of course, it has, we have never had it this good, you know, in that area. Just like I told you, that Mr. President having appointed a man who knows how to fix roads, the former governor of Ebonyi State, Engineer Devomai. Yeah, you can see that if you move around, like in our own case, we've been traveling almost everywhere in Nigeria. You know, I'm sure that this time around, you know, roads are, I mean, fairly, very, very okay.
Are there specific examples?
Of course, take for instance, traveling from Abuja down to Maiduguri on a monstrous note is a very wonderful road. Except
for the Abuja-Kaduna road.
Which is on course. The Minister of Works is doing his best. Everywhere, is it southeast? It's not that Nigerians. Of course, it's on course.
It's on course.
On course.
So how will the Lagos-Calabar, you know, coastal highway and Sokoto-Badagry super highway projects impact the country's transport sector and work on the economy?
It's going to be very, very wonderful. By the time,
that road leads to Ebonyi State too.
Of course, that is why we can't joke with Mr. President. Not just only Southeast zone, every other zone. Look at the establishment of the regional offices, you know, to really drive down this democracy dividends to the people. That would tell you that Mr. President is highly passionate. He's a compassionate leader. You know, we've not had his kind of person in Nigeria leading us. In fact, if you don't mind, let me even tell you, for instance, like I was telling you, most of the key areas they have performed creditably well. I want us to also look at major interventions approved by this administration under the able leadership of President Tinubu. For instance,
approved, you said?
Yeah, it has been. This has been approved. These major interventions are approved by this present government. You understand? And that is because of that removal of fuel subsidy. That's been the topic, the burning issue here. You understand, in the country. For instance, for recapitalization of Bank of Industry, 1.5 trillion naira have been approved. For Kano Railway project, you mentioned, Madam, 1.5 trillion are also have been approved. 45.9 billion to supply 8,800 primary health care centers under health. 1.2 trillion for special power interventions and World Bank backed electrification project. As you are aware, these days we're almost having a stability in this area. You understand? Unlike what we used to experience before. You know, before now, it has always been this epileptic life supply and what have you. But these days, it's stabilizing. Okay, again, look at 18 billion naira cleared in insurance areas for military personnel to boost their morale and support security operations. Now, we have another $3.5 billion US for rehabilitation of Eastern Rail Line. We have another 4 point. I want you to be taking this figure, and Nigerians should. Be, that's why I say we're deliberate.
I'm sure Nigerians are.
So, and all these figures, they can verify it. They are no allegory, they are no fiction. These are real figures that have been approved. Do you understand? That's why I say work is in progress, okay? And then the need for Nigerians to continue to support this administration. You understand? There should be this trust. They should keep trusting the government. This government is really leading us to the promised land. It's a matter of time. You understand? 2 years can't just be enough for people who are talking here and there. By the time we make these figures available in a manner of exercise books, you know, and other key areas that the government have performed.
For students in schools.
Students to have it, civil servants, teachers, and what have you. So nobody can be misinformed because a lot of misinformation are out there. And we need to put the record very, very straight. Do you understand?
Okay, President Tinubu has always said that food security is very, very important for any nation. If your people are fed well, government work will go well too. So how sustainable, you know, is grain and fertilizer distribution as a food security strategy?
Of course, as you are aware.
Because most farmers are complaining they can't access fertilizer.
No,
they can't get it. But now the president has said fertilizer should be available for farmers. But
of course,
accessibility is the issue here.
Okay, then that is another problem because you can see how compassionate our president is to have made fertilizers accessible to farmers. You understand? And he can't force anybody. For instance, it is not his duty, you understand, to make sure that an average farmer in the grassroots will access the fertilizer. You understand? It has to be the local government chairman that have to do that. And this is a president that have shown considerable amount of, you know, love for the people at the grassroots. You know what happened last year, July Supreme Court decision. He has always been that man, you know, whose love for the masses is second to none. So, and knowing fully that agriculture, food security is the way to go, without which, of course, you and I would take him here, for instance. So he's doing his best. And like I said, everything, all this is on course.
Since you have talked about local government, are you satisfied with the level of implementation? Would you say that has now, you know, impacted positively Nigerians at the grassroots level?
Of course, that decision of the Supreme Court is on course. Its implementation is on course. Seriously on course. All we have to do is to remain patient, if need be, you know, also prayerful, because the same God who made it possible for such decision to come up will also make it possible to fully and finally be implemented.
What measures would you say the administration has taken in terms of security, and how has this helped to stabilize security across the country? What are the strides here?
You remember when I mentioned the money doled out to the order to personnel of the army is to encourage here to boost their morale. There's a lot of funds that have been injected in that area.
Into security, yeah.
Yes, so
we're actually seeing
the
it.
president has been very deliberate in making sure that security issue of the country becomes the thing of the past. We all need to be patient. After all, is anybody trying to tell us that he's the one who started this insecurity? No.
So
for instance, imagine 18 billion naira, have been cleared, in insurance areas for military personnel to boost their morale.
Okay, how is this?
It will also support the security operations.
Okay, with all this money that has been given to the security, how has the recent security operation significantly reduced all theft and insurgency, especially in the Niger Delta?
I don't think it is still...
That's what I'm asking. How has it helped in reducing it?
It has. Dramatically, it has. Okay. People move freely now in that region without the usual complaint, and everything. So it's work in progress.
It's work in progress.
Let's talk about health. One of the major challenges that Nigerians have had up till this time is, having to pay out of pocket for their healthcare needs. In your opinion, how has the administration changed the narrative in this regard? Are Nigerians now better able to deal with their health challenges with government support?
Of course. Of course, you know that life is an essential thing for all of us. And Mr. President, being a compassionate leader, have been very, very up and doing in that area. For instance, look at 45.9 billion naira that have been approved to support 8,800 primary health care centers. Of course, that is the basis, primary health care centers. And I will always insist that work is in progress, whether one likes it or not.
But you do know that approval is not released exactly, because it is when release happens that the impact is felt across board.
First of all, let us tackle it one at a time. Approval has been given. Do you understand? Nothing is a rocket science here. For sure, the money must be released. You understand? The money must be released. And are you trying to tell me that 2 years is enough for all this mess to be cleared?
So has your NGO been able to track the release of these funds?
We are on it.
Okay.
And we can assure Nigerians that definitely nobody will play any pranks about the release of this approved funds.
All of the amounts you are listing.
I will still come back here to assure Nigerians again that indeed, let us, of course, you see, the problem most Nigerians has that we always like to politicize almost everything. Understand? For instance, look at what is going on now in the political area. Thank God I'm not here as a politician. You understand?
I'm speaking like a politician.
I'm not one. I'm doing my work. I work as a,
NGO.
Yes, NGO, the watchdog of society. But you see out there, people who are making a hell of noise, hitting the polity, gathering, calling it coalition. I don't know what they call it, coalition or what have you. And let me remind Nigerians, all these gatherings, nobody should be distracted. Any gathering, our Bible, you understand, which, of course, as a Christian, I know that Bible is a mirror that tells and teaches us the true position of our lives. This moral gronom has made it clear. It says that every or any gathering, for that matter, that is not of the Lord, definitely must scatter.
Okay,
so I'm very confident that all this their gathering, instead of supporting the government to deliver on their mandate, they are busy gathering, talking trash and everything. And what's that their name? They call them ADC, which in our own...
Is that what they call them?
ADC. But I think that the meaning is amalgamation of
let's not deviate.
Amalgamation of disgruntled compatriots.
Chief, let's not
that
deviate.
should be disbanded. No Indian Nigerian should take them seriously.
Listen to me. Let's deviate from politics now, because we are not here to talk about politics. We're talking about the achievements of President
Which
Bola
I've already
So in your view, which of the giant strides of President Tinubu will have the most lasting impact in Nigeria?
Agriculture, education.
Talk about it.
I've already told you the much that has been done in this area of agriculture.
Yes.
And then coming to education, you are aware, for the very first time in Nigerian political history, an average indigent student has Christmas he or she is celebrating. It has never been like that. That's why when people are talking, they will always not understand that this president is a highly compassionate leader.
So a lot of people have been saying that women and youth empowerment.
Women are happy everywhere.
Okay. And the youths,
Of course,
because they
yes.
constitute at least 70% of voters.
Of course, yes.
And at the end of the day,
of course,
yes.
you will be so many Nigerians will be surprised that. Anyway, I don't want to go for it because, like I said, I'm not here as a politician. But I know definitely that come 2027, support, of course, in an organic manner, must be harvested for this, for Mr. President, because he has done marvelously well.
What are the strides in technology? You know why I ask about technology? Everything today is technology. The youths are engaged thanks to technology. How would you describe the strides of this administration in that area?
Technology.
Yes.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the ministry is really doing her best.
Yes.
And of course, Mr. President has also been a compassionate leader. You know, in his wisdom, appointing such a minister, I can assure you that in no distant time now,
Yes.
an average youth of this country will have everything to say yes. To God be the glory that it is well with them.
So we have to remind our viewers that if you have questions for our guest here in the studio, you can send them through the number on your screen on our WhatsApp and text messages. We appreciate your input into this conversation. So in your opinion now, what lessons can future governments, learn from Tinubu's first 2 years in office? Because he has achieved so much in 2 years. So how can future governments be able to emulate what he has put on ground?
You mean future government as in after
Yes,
this first
after,
tranche,
yes, after
4 years?
No, after he must have left office. What
Okay,
lessons?
okay, after his 8 years tenure, fine.
Yes.
Definitely, to me, it's going to be a very big shoe.
To fill.
Yes, for the incoming whatever after his 8 years.
Why do you say that?
Of course, before now, have we had this kind of compassionate leader, president? Look at, youth, for the students, look at the student loan. You understand?
So in your area,
Since the advent of democracy,
yeah,
have we had this kind of
How many students have benefited
from your area?
A lot of them. The statistics, like I said, everything will be gazetted. All this whole thing will be put down, in this manner. Exercise books.
Okay.
To be shared freely. We will
To
as
all
an
the
NGO,
schools in Nigeria.
all schools in Nigeria,
Primary,
will have,
secondary.
everyone will have this exercise book containing all the key
Let's see
achievements.
it. Can you show it so that the camera can?
Of course.
No, the front. No,
Okay.
just the front.
Yeah,
yes.
the key
So the
achievements.
camera can pick it up.
Yes.
So that, yes.
Yes.
So that.
All students in Nigeria, teachers, civil servants, everyone. Because we need to dispel this misinformation that some enemies of the democracy, president of this administration, are peddling. You understand? We are very, very deliberate in our effort. This exercise book will contain most of all this. And our figures are like I said, this is no literature. Everything about what I've said here are real. Anyone can verify it.
Okay, you say subsidy removal was necessary. But
Highly.
has it really lowered cost for the average Nigerian?
What I'm talking is a gradual process. Like I said, all this is our course and highly promising. Yeah. Sometimes, like for instance, most of all this can be likened to a pregnant woman. For the start, the moment it's not usually easy. But at the end of the day, every woman that took in or definitely will also, by the grace of God, put to bed. And at that point, you see gladness and everything, you know.
Happiness.
Yeah, of course.
Does the administration have challenges so that Nigerians can also understand areas that
yes,
may not be very satisfying,
yes,
what the challenges are, and be able to understand with government?
The challenges they have is that, as you are aware, of course, that can be handled fine by experts, economists. Of course, we know with our elementary knowledge that if resources are scarce, you understand, chances are that most of your needs may not be met. And that's why we have what we call a scale of preference, attending to those ones you can attend, and of course, in the manner that is what we call wants.
Which means that all the approvals you talk about may not become releases. Not all of them
they will
become releases.
They will.
Because of scarcity of funds.
No, definitely, especially those key areas. You understand? Nobody is playing politics about education, as you're aware. Is it health, road? You
Security.
Understand? Security, most importantly. You understand? It's fairly well now. Moving around, you may not necessarily have to talk about, your own challenge, of insecurity and everything.
So I need to take a step back. What prompted you to have interest, in to float this NGO that would, show what the administration is doing and enlighten Nigerians on how good this administration is to Nigerians?
Okay.
Since you say you've gone around the country and you've been able to talk to Nigerians and they've accepted the fact that, yes, this administration is doing its best to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians, take them out of poverty, because President Tinubu said we are looking at a 1 trillion economy.
Yes.
So what prompted you to float this NGO to enlighten people and get people, inform people on the achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Okay. For instance, I remember telling you here that you may also wish to know that our NGO is not a baby NGO.
Okay.
It has been in operation since 2009. We have always been saddled with the responsibility of, organizing programs in collaboration with governments and other organized bodies to address some highly topics topical issues that affects us as a people and nation. And of course, this one, under reference, is also going to add to those programs that our NGO have been organizing. We are just very deliberate. I will always insist on. So, our effort is to make sure that Nigerians, get highly informed, on the programs of government. We need to dispel the misinformations that have been peddled here and there by, most enemies of this administration. So we are practically doing our work as the watchdog of the society, and we cannot. It's not an easy work, but we must do it because we have really elected to do it.
You'd love to do it,
especially as we have the approval as I speak. Before now, you would have known that we got the approval from the Senate Committee Chairman, the Senate Committee on Information and National Orientation. So the technical support is the reason we are really up on our feet to organize this very program, which will also invite you. It's coming up by next month.
Okay.
The kickoff will start in Abuja, in North Central.
Okay.
Where all stakeholders, including you people, and will have to come. Then professionals, technocrats, experts will be enlisted. Their services will be enlisted to do justice on all these, areas that the president have really
One aspect that we've not talked about is the power sector. Nigeria has, we have 6,000 megawatts of electricity now in Nigeria, but still there are complaints.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
You see, if I don't know, because assuming you people will give me more time, you will appreciate that in my area and other places, like I remember telling you before now that for the very first time in Nigerian history, we are almost having stability in that area.
Yes,
So
because of the
supply.
power issue, most companies left Nigeria because they are paying more money to run generators to do their business. So how can government bring them back?
That one is their business. They know why they are running away.
Okay.
Maybe, just like I said, maybe they must have been influenced by some bad eggs in Nigeria, enemies of the administration. Why running away? What are they going to? They shouldn't be running away because electricity supply is stabilizing, and all these things are on course. It's not a rocket science. We have to be patient. Seriously, yeah, we have to be patient.
But there are foreign companies. The patience we have in Nigeria itself, because we are citizens of
Those
Nigeria.
are highly politically
and the business
motivated.
is all about making
the
money.
exit, if you don't mind.
Okay.
You know, they are highly politically motivated.
Okay.
It is the enemies of the government that must have engineered them to run away. They can run to hellfire. Nobody cares.
All right. Juma, you have some messages?
No, I don't.
Okay. I think I have two here.
Okay, can you please tell?
One is from Abdul Hamid Mukhtar here in Abuja. It says, good morning. One thing I like and encourages me about the present administration is that all the ministers are on their toes.
Yes.
All of them. It's a sign that they are here to work and take Nigeria to the promised land. May God Almighty help us all. All right, and the second message is from Akeju Olagbaju. He says, today's edition isn't something that I can thumb up. An important topic to show the present administration's giant strides deserves better discourse. I believe there are a lot of people in this administration that can drive the message home for many Nigerians to digest. All right.
So can you respond to that?
Like I said, thank God for this last, the message from that patriotic Nigerian. We are just trying to do our own bid, you know. And like I said, it has to be a teamwork. It has to be a teamwork.
With government and Nigerians.
Yes.
All coming on board.
Yes.
Okay. That is beautiful. Well, time is up for you now. The Ambassador High Chief Ephraim Ikechukwuwanu, Executive Director, Icon Global Foundation. Thank you so much for coming and shedding more light on what your NGO is doing.
Thank you.
So we'll be monitoring and tracking to see how you are able to influence Nigerians to understand that this government is really working and the achievement is all there to see. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
We'll take a break. When we return, our conversation will continue. Don't go away.